Lisa's son cooked bagels and that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you hear me at Applebee's?
Just ESP. It's a mad scientist thing. It's
Yes.
the mad scientist thing. No,
Yes.
I actually came in and right about the time you were talking about it, I was out front showing
And how are you?
John. I mean,
Doing what?
Okay, take that cup that Raven's been using, swap it for the end cup.
We're just
I'll do
continually
it.
pushing them down.
What are you doing? Hiding
Thank
that?
you.
I'm just, yes, I'm putting my vegetable juice over here for
Was that
now.
yours?
That's, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch to vegetable juice after a while because I've been up for 12 hours, my intention when I got out of here is to go to sleep, so I don't want to get too helped up on caffeine and not be able to sleep. Because I have things to do later this evening. Nice 2 hour nap.
And you brought your own tea?
Well, you know, it's green tea with some jasmine in there. Jasmine tea. Green tea and jasmine tea mixed.
I have green, but I don't have jasmine. And I also
Still
have
quite
have this so we can make individual cups if you like them. Stuff.
Yes, bagels are boiled though.
Davine, I looked at your website where your hats, your handmade hats, very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
That's how I got your email address. I just looked at it and I thought, wow.
I've been doing that instructional DVD, and I have been working my little brain to death. And I just finished. Oh God.
You finished?
Finished the 3-part. It's like 3 discs.
Now, are those going to be aired, or are those just going to be at your trade shows?
Well, those are good cookies.
Are they?
Now, on my website, on that front page when you get there, it says coming in January of 2007 DVDs on hat making.
Oh, okay. So you're
Well, I'm 3 months late.
Are you gonna
They're done.
Are you gonna air them on your TV?
I didn't air one.
Okay.
Oh,
He saw it. He knows
as a
how
matter
to
of
make
fact,
straw
you had
hats
the,
now.
You had the big, the straw hat. I seen that.
Yeah, John saw it. I ran into him in Green Life the other day. And he goes, "I saw you doing a hat making
Very good.
lesson."
And that's when I found out that I'm the mad scientist, but she's a mad hatter.
Mad?
She is a mad
You know
hatter.
why they were Mad Hatters?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why?
Why were they mad hatters? Because they used mercury in their hat molds, and but I think that the rumor at the time was because they made hats, and
Yeah.
they went on people's heads, and
Straight
they somehow got involved with everybody's thoughts, and they just went crazy.
The hats got the minds, the craziness got in their heads.
Somehow, didn't it?
Well, I came for a reason today.
Okay.
It's controversial.
Ooh.
What does everybody think about the train wreck of Imus?
I heard about that just a couple hours ago.
You just heard?
I heard about his
that,
final fate.
I think that it's gotten far too much press. I think that it's not. I think that it's not news. I think that it's that newsy like stuff they like to put out. You see what I mean?
Newsiness.
Yeah, we'll call it newsiness.
Well, you heard about what finally happened to him, right?
I heard he lost his job.
Yep.
$10 million a year.
Well, I'm sure he has enough to get by.
Yeah, I should hope he's got
When you
some
get a
fallback
change,
by this
Davey.
point.
I hope he saved last year's $10 million.
Huh?
I hope he saved last year's $10 million. Okay, go ahead. What's your take on it?
Well,
I mean, you asked, and I gave you probably what you weren't wanting out of me. But go ahead.
not necessarily. I thought you'd expound upon free speech and all that.
Well, Al Sharpton has nowhere. He shouldn't be the one to speak out for him to be fair.
Step down.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
Al
generally
Sharpton is a racist.
Well, I'm generally.
I call him out.
I'm not a big fan of Al Sharpton either. And while on the one hand I do have an opinion about free speech, on the other hand, what Imus said was out of line.
It was. It was over the edge. I
It's
agree.
one thing, and it would have been
And I'm an
one
Imus
thing.
fan, so
Yeah.
so I can, I was like, he was wrong to chastise those young girls. go after.
Which
he was
they
in
didn't
a
even
position,
do. They didn't even
right.
do anything.
No, they didn't do anything.
Be-
He had a position of a bully pulpit. He had a really he was in the catbird seat, and he should have been the thorn in the side of the establishment or the powers, not pick on young college girls.
And
that's why he's wrong.
And to some degree, he has been the thorn in the side.
Yeah,
of
and
the
he has, and that's why I like him.
and stuff like that. And that may be
Why this has happened?
that may be one of the reasons that it may be that they just used this to you bring the whole batch of them in here and hang them up here
What
by
I
the
do
door.
think is kind of interesting, though, is that we've had a lot of talking heads saying a lot of vile things lately.
Really?
And,
For a long
some
time.
really inappropriate stuff.
For a long time. And why is he the one
Yeah.
going down the tubes? Well, maybe because he has been a real thorn.
Right. That makes you think about it. I mean, in the long run, there are some people who are probably who could care less about what he said, but who are probably very happy that he's out of the picture.
Out of the picture because of his big stinks that he would make about them.
That's still no excuse. It's no excuse for what he said,
No.
which I'm sure he'll be the first one to admit.
Yeah.
And
Take a coat on.
probably he's probably for a while he's been getting a little too big for his britches.
He has been way too big for his britches, and he's not been very grateful for his for the life that he has, his sobriety. He's not been very grateful about that lately, and that's the first tenet of in recovery: is you don't lose your gratitude or your humility. Once those are gone, you're heading down the wrong track again heading for that train wreck.
But do you know what? What he said's nothing compared to what happened to those 3 young men at Duke University.
Exactly.
I think what he said is nothing. Now, it may be lambascious, but you had 3 people's lives that will never, ever be the same. Those girls can go on. No one's going to key in that, hey, they were part of, what were they?
Well, Nifon is
Basketball team
being
or
hauled
something?
in front
Rutgers.
of the board,
Rutgers, yeah,
the
something
bar
like that.
today over that. I
Yeah.
think he's probably going to lose his
Well, he needs to.
law
He needs to
degree
be
or his
fair.
license.
But Al Sharpton jumped
Absolutely.
on that. Al Sharpton jumped on that and said that those boys should be charged. They pushed him and Jesse Jackson. They also, those 3 young boys, one of them in particular stood up and said, it was hard to be on campus whenever they've got posters of their pictures
Yeah.
and comparing them to Hitler. So you think about that. Compared to what Amos said, there's, I know it was the wrong thing to say, however, you're talking about 3 men's lives when they apply for a job and they said, well, you were at Duke, and if someone puts their name in Google and finds out, hey, they were charged with rape, it's there. So, it's just double standards. It's a double standard thing. And
As
I don't
far
know
as
how
Sharpton
we
is
get around it.
concerned, or-
Absolutely. Sharpton and Jackson.
Well, okay. Since we're talking about controversial things today and all, why don't we say impeachment and see how long we stay on the air?
Impeachment of who?
Let's discuss impeachment. Well, I'm just throwing the subject out.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
see,
should we take up where I was left off?
yeah, I think
I think we should fight for the cause.
I think it's our responsibility to take up where Imus left off.
In other words, why doesn't
Oh,
somebody
no.
just perform oral sex on George Bush already and get it over with?
So we can impeach him?
I don't know about that.
No, I don't think he has
I don't know about
sex.
that. I don't know about that.
Can we make a video? Have you seen that video? No.
If someone,
That would definitely make it at the top of YouTube in no time.
I do believe, though, if someone followed Bill Clinton around, you could probably find you a video. Might not be the current president, but you could find one of the ex-presidents.
Well, yeah, I don't have a very high opinion of Bill Clinton, I must say.
Yeah,
But
and I admit that neither do I. I most respect Bill Clinton for his Elvis Presley impersonation, but
No, Elvis is channeling through him.
okay.
When I see Elvis, and I see Clinton, I go like, Elvis is getting in him
All right.
somehow.
And that's good.
Yeah.
See, we think that's good.
I think it's good too. I mean, I love Elvis. But I can't separate the two.
I just wish Elvis was channeling through our current president. That would be better.
Well, in that case, it'd be Love Me Tender then. Love Me Tender.
That would be really good.
I mean, Love Me Tender there, Doc.
But
I don't know. Impeachment?
I believe that when it comes
how about resignation?
I believe when it comes to Bill Clinton, and I believe that Bill Clinton's offense, I believe that the act which I won't mention that apparently went on, I don't believe that that's really an impeachable offense, and I don't think that lying. I don't believe that lying about a bleep job.
A personal thing
is really an impeachable offense. I do, however, believe that lying about things and using our huge military forces abroad in a preemptive strike and things like that, I believe that those are the type of things that the impeachment process was designed for, personally.
Well, that opens up a whole can of worms there. I don't know if anyone lied. That's opinionated. And that's fine.
And Jen is Jen. Hello, Jen.
Okay.
I think she's enjoying this.
Okay.
I don't want to.
I'm not getting involved in this.
But you're enjoying the show, aren't you?
I just think for everything that you possibly think Bush should be impeached for, Clinton should as well. I think they're both evil.
Oh, well, I think they really ought to take the whole thing back to... See, I believe that a coup took place in 1963 when they put a bullet in the presidency.
I do too.
And I believe that I think the same people that pulled that coup off are still running things now. And so I think, you can say as much as you like, but I think they need to clear house right on back to 1962 and 1963 and repair all the damage that has been done between then and now. And,
get hooked on these.
okay.
They're very good.
Once you start, you can't stop.
When you get a chance, read that. It came out of Hendersonville, but don't talk about it on TV, please. It's.
Well, we like these cookies a lot, and I think it's really exciting that they came out of Hendersonville. We're happy about that, and I believe you appreciate a locally made product, don't you?
I think we all do. I think we should always support our locally made products.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting that Clinton thought he could get away with his little peccadillo, I call them peccadillos. and because he knew the opposition was after him like white on rice.
True for both parties.
And then the same with Don Imus. He's made a lot of enemies. And they were after him like white on rice. And and these guys, I guess they get real big and they just think, I'm bulletproof. I can do it. I'm big. I'm powerful.
Right.
And Don Imus was like just 5 or 6 months ago one of the top 5 or 6 powerful radio broadcasters in the country again. I mean, he's had that for several years.
Yeah, but that's really not news. I mean, when I turn on the 6 o'clock news, that's not what I want to see. I mean, I don't consider that news. Talking about people in show business and stuff like that, that's gossip column stuff. That's like some back pages stuff. I want to see. That's not front page news.
Even worse, they're still talking about Anna Nicole Smith. Still.
But but the news. There's so much news now. They have to fill up the airwaves with something, so they're always giving us all this extraneous stuff because they've got 24 hours to fill instead of the half hour that they used to fill for evening news with Walter Cronkite.
But
so we're getting all this stuff because of that.
Yeah, too. I just recently flipped through the channels and saw a bunch of news reports, boom, 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 one right after the other. Imus appeared to be leading the pack on everyone.
Yeah, because it was.
That's why it's on your lips today, because you.
No, it's on my lips because it was my favorite thing to start the morning with, and now he's gone.
He will be back, but he won't be back syndicated right away. I think some small station will pick him up, and they'll bring him back. He just may not
I
be
think you'll go to satellite, but
and
what I liked about him was the edginess and the political and the current events. I didn't like the sports or the jock stuff.
I got disgusted with the news on TV all the way back in O.J. Simpson. I remember sitting down, I'm going to watch the evening news. ABC, O.J. Simpson. CBS, O.J. Simpson. NBC, O.J. Simpson. CNN, O.J. Simpson. This is before Fox.
I think I'm looking all the TV.
And then I just decided to watch cartoons
Oh, no.
instead.
I said, I hope I didn't look the whole thing.
Well, the
Reportee.
reason that I don't listen to very much news on the TV set is because of all of those things. And if you go to the internet, you can choose which news you want to read or hear about. So, you know, I can look on the New York Times front page or wherever, Google News, and I can just read what I'm interested in. And I don't have to listen to all of the filler.
I've become so disappointed with TV news.
That's why I don't watch TV.
I'm disappointed with TV in general.
Well, yeah. Except, of course,
Us!
Right.
it's not to the touch.
Well,
Us, yeah.
But I do want to say one thing, so be sure I get this out. Character does count.
It does.
And no matter if it's lying under oath over a bleep bleep, it's still character. And for president, you know, that does count. I want to get that out, and that's all.
I agree.
I'm just
That's all I
wondering-
want to say about
I just
that.
kind of wonder if, in
My
order
characters
to
can go
get to
there.
the point of becoming president, do you have to be so compromised that character is way off somewhere? Because nobody I ever like gets voted in,
now, let me say this about
and
character.
I can just like, okay,
you
I like
you say nobody you ever like gets
No.
voted in. Same with me. No,
No,
I quit voting for people because I thought, well, I must be doing them a disfavor because if I vote for them, they don't get elected.
Yeah.
So I quit.
The other thing that I think counts in a president, though, is I look back upon it, and Clinton doesn't look so bad now compared to Bush, because as far as Clinton was concerned, I'm not saying Clinton was great. I'm not, you know, I couldn't stand the fact people were apologizing for him at the time, but Clinton didn't have any ambition beyond being president. And I've become so cynical that doesn't look so bad now. He was more interested in just becoming president and not rocking the boat, as opposed to the agenda that Bush had when he got here.
which is take over the world.
I'm of the opinion that they wanted to go into Iraq before 9/11, and it just gave them the perfect excuse.
I think that's pretty obvious.
I mean, I'm not going to delve into conspiracy theories or anything like that, but I do
Why not?
think, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I don't know for certain. What we do know is that the buildings fell down, and we know that they had already been making noise about Iraq beforehand. So I buy into the idea he wanted to go into Iraq, and it gave him the perfect excuse.
Well, let me just jump in here a little bit. Bush had more difficult issues to deal with the first 2.5 years of his first term than Clinton did the entire 8. No president has ever had to face the issues that came on board. So I feel like he was overwhelmed, but yet he handled it very well. I can almost assure you, before the last 4 years where the negative has come in, if someone could say, okay, these are the issues that's going to come up the first 30 months of Bush, which would you rather have, Bush or Clinton, to deal with those issues? And I think there's where you come in at.
Yeah, it's you know what? I think I'd rather have Clinton because we wouldn't be stuck in the situation we're in now.
We might be in
Clinton, you know what? The thing is, Clinton actually did try and take out Osama bin Laden.
Most democratic.
It's not like he was some sort of peacenik. He was ambitious and ruthless enough so that if he thought capping somebody was going to help his career, he would have done it.
Side,
Yeah.
if you would.
Well,
Because in this chair
that's
will
a
only
strange
get your
thing.
back.
That's a strange thing.
Unless you want
Thank
your
you.
back on.
And how are you, Gary?
It's your back on.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Let me, everybody, this is Gary McCracken, songwriter, singer.
I guess things are about to get a lot less serious.
I wonder if we can get zoomed out there to catch him. I wonder if we can do that. Let's see if we can zoom out.
Okay.
Can we scoot down? Can you scoot down and me scoot down?
Yes, I will scoop. Yeah, I just don't want to get scalded.
There we go.
Yummy.
I'm switching to vegetable juice.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I'll do. Oh, Gary, get a cup out of the box over there. See the box is sitting over there? Get your cup and saucer there.
Yeah, because this one's
That's
used.
somebody else's tea.
I think the good thing about the Mad Professor's Tea Party, we can get real serious and then come right back out of it. And that's what I like.
Well, it's a tea party.
That's right.
That's
That's
tea
right. We
does
don't
that
get
to
so
you. It makes you
stressed.
not be so serious.
You know?
Tea party doesn't need to stay too serious, but that doesn't mean that there's not serious things in this world.
You got addicted to those cookies.
I love them. That's
Yeah, they're
childlike.
going pretty quick.
Do away with that box. Throw it on the floor. I don't want anybody to see that.
You got another box?
So I think you'll like that, Gary.
And what kind of tea do we have here?
China
Got another
black.
box.
Love that.
Yeah, if he wants another box, do you want another some more cookies?
Serious. It's
Okay,
great.
here.
Is it good? Are you happy with the tea?
Oh, very elated.
No, we have plenty hanging out at the other end yet.
Okay. Yesterday you had a guest, and I wanted to touch base with it. He was the president of the homeless chapter. Does he come in here often, or was he just, what's going on? I'd like to meet him.
He's been a friend of mine for a lot of years.
Okay.
And did you hear his songs and
Yes,
stuff?
yes.
He's good, buddy.
I sat and watched that and did my paperwork yesterday afternoon.
How did the sound come over the TV
It
set?
did real well.
Could you understand the
Yeah.
words of his songs and things?
Yes, you could hear it very well.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But I thought he was very interesting. I kind of thought I liked to be in here
What
and
else? Do you want some
chatted some of my
sweeteners?
opinions about the homeless with him.
Uh-huh.
You know, but that's good. Is it the only chapter in the United States, the homeless? Membership?
Membership of,
Yeah,
of,
I was
of the
thinking
homeless,
so.
something
That was
like
unusual,
that.
very unusual.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in that. You really need to discuss
Yeah,
it with him. You know.
but I thought it was kind of neat to. I wanted to hear his views of why we have homeless and some other issues.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know it's a big spectrum.
So so from what you're saying so far, I get the impression. Would we consider you a George Bush supporter? You would be a supporter of our president. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Either you support him or you don't. I support the country, but I support his views. He talks a good talk. Now I will admit this. He talks a great talk, but a lot of things he's come up short on the conservative issues, especially immigration. That needs to be controlled. The war is one thing. I wish that 9/11 never had happened. Maybe we wouldn't be here today, with all this stuff. As far as it being a conspiracy, they've I think Popular Mechanics took all this things that's been said that they thought was a big fake blow up, and they took each issue and broke it down, and none of it has panned out so far. Talked about the fuel in the plane. It would not burn to a certain temperature to melt that real thick steel. So they tested it in their labs, and they said it is hot enough to burn it. So I'm just going by what you read, and I don't know if Popular Mechanics is a conservative issue or in the middle of the road. It really doesn't matter. I just hope that I would hate to think that our government would do something like that. I don't think it would. I think it's too far-fetched. But everybody has their opinion, and that's why we have a Mad Professor's Tea Party.
Well, personally, I don't think that this administration is competent enough to pull off that
Well,
kind
that's
of
good. That's good.
I am inclined to think that they let
decimating
it happen,
those buildings.
Certainly didn't do anything about it. Bush had gotten a memo saying Bin Laden planning on attacking the United States, and he was on vacation.
Well, I think those memos also came out during the Clinton time, too. I think they knew that Bin Laden was a very serious guy, and I know Clinton did try to get him out of there, and that's very commendable. But still, if you don't succeed, you keep going, and it was only one or two attempts. But, I do understand that.
That's a mic.
That's the mic.
But anyway, don't really want to get in deep there.
The microphone?
Yeah.
Well, then how about we have Gary play a song?
Well,
Gary needs more tea in
you
his
got-
drink
okay.
before Gary wants a song.
Gary,
Gary needs cream for his tea.
you just got off work, right?
Yeah, I just got off.
Okay. And how was that?
So how's your
Did you
camera?
It was
enjoy it?
awesome. I love my new
How's your
job.
camera?
It's-
I'm glad.
I was gonna show it to you, let you see,
Yeah.
And that's the case it came in?
it actually came in this case, and here a Sony case, but it's too small when you put the mic on, so.
What have you got now?
I
You got a
actually-
camera.
I finally got the
A
110
toy.
that I've been wanting.
Got a toy.
That's the toy.
I know. I got one too.
I wouldn't take sugar because this honey apparently
There's a sugar right here.
isn't working. I don't know what's
It's-
Well, it only gives you the
nuts.
teeniest little squirt, and to be honest with you, it's not honey, it is a mixture.
Okay, because I just put like half a canister in the tea and I'm still not tasting it.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
is
this is great
it?
tea though.
Okay, now what is it? It's a
This
Sony?
it's the
Blended
Sony
honey.
110.
Thank you.
Okay, just like we have here.
It's the same thing we have here, so if anyone's watching,
There's the ingredients list.
this is one of the same units that they use,
Oh, it's
that
that got that
they'll,
rice.
sign out for
rice
And they
sweetener.
come
rice
with this
sweetener.
stuff.
Yeah, it came with the
syrup.
mic
Oh, yeah.
and everything.
Cause of all the
Came out of
extremes
Chicago,
of
a
the
guy had bought it
fat
for
people in the world.
advertisement
pretty much.
company, and they shot a couple things. It's got like 30, 40 hours on it, and I feel like
Did you get it on eBay or
I
what?
got it on eBay.
What did it cost?
I ended up paying tax and, well, not tax, but shipping and all, it's $12.15.
Oh, wow.
So I felt I did
It's a
okay.
$2,500 or $3,000
Yeah.
camper.
It was.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah, it was, and you know what they're going to is a high def.
They look good.
But
They have a good. They have a nice,
the-
sharp picture. No doubt about it.
I think with
It
the
looked nice.
to have your audio plugs
And
is the
inputs.
biggest function to it.
That's right.
And I wanted to show you.
That's
Because
right.
she got one, and I've been trying to get one for about 3 months.
I tell you what, I have trouble with those cameras, and my trouble with those cameras is when I download what I've done. Like on, if you work on the Apple systems that they're using here, when you download from them, they seem to work okay. But certainly, if you bring the tapes in and put them in the players here, they work fine. But when I try to download directly from this camera, from the FireWire in this camera, directly into the FireWire input on my systems at home, I don't get any audio. No audio comes down the FireWire.
Huh. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I have a PC, and you.
Have you tried it yet?
I tried it under the what's that? Windows Movie Maker.
Right.
Okay, and it actually downloaded just quite fine.
Audio as well?
Audio as well, but it was on the PC Microsoft Movie Maker, and
But you downloaded through the FireWire?
through the FireWire,
Okay.
right off the camera. So it did do.
Okay.
It did good. So maybe it was something going on your
Okay.
end, or something not
What
set.
system are you using?
Well, I have two of these standalone recorders, and they have FireWire inputs on the front of them, and I've done that. Now I've tried it on my PC at home too, and maybe I won't have that problem with my PC. It turns out that the only other tapes I've tried on my PC were the ones that we made here, and as you recall, we
We
didn't.
lost the sound.
We didn't. Yeah, the sound was turned off, so we didn't have any sound on them. I thought it was the same old problem, but it turned out there was no sound on the tape. So.
Well, I had that problem with my little Sony that burns to a DVD,
Yeah.
and I got a media converter box,
Yeah.
and so and before that the video went into the camera, but the sound did not.
Yeah.
So with
Was
this
yours
little,
a Sony too?
yeah, so with this converter box, I take that cord